So,
Very good evening
very good evening to
everyone present over
everyone
here.
present over here.
My name is Shivam
My name is
Sharma,
Shivam
and I
Sharma,
welcome you to
and
the
I
fifth
welcome you to the fifth
episode of the
episode
Bullish
of the
Talks.
Bullish Talks.
And today with
And
me
today
we
with
have a
me, we
very
have a
special
very
guest,
special guest,
Mr. Rahul
Mr. Rahul
Kelapure.
Kelapure.
He is the
He is
Assistant
the
Legal
assistant
Advisor
legal
of
advisor of
at the
at the
Securities and Exchange
Securities and
Board of
Exchange Board
India.
of India.
So, Rahul
So,
sir, a
Rahul
very
sir,
warm
a very
welcome to the
warm
Bullish
welcome to the
Talks.
Bullish Talks.
Thank you so much, Shivam, and thank you so much to all of your viewers here. And I wish all of you a very, very warm good evening.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
so much, sir.
So, sir,
So, sir,
could you speak
could you
something
speak
about
something
yourself?
about
Like, tell
yourself?
the audience
Like, tell
about
the audience
yourself, sir.
about
The
yourself.
audience
So, the
wants to know
audience
about
wants to
you.
know about you.
All right, as you said, my name is Rahul, and I work with Securities and Exchange Board of India in the Division of Policy, Legal Department. Um, and I work there as an assistant legal advisor. I have done my LLB from Government Law College, Mumbai. Presently, I'm also doing my company secretary and MBA from Wellinkers. Um, and of course, I've done a few diplomas in one postgraduate diploma I've done in this uh, securities laws, and the other one I have done it with on cyber laws. So that these are the broad things that I have been doing, and of course I love to uh, talk about investment education, investor awareness. That's something that I love to kind of share with people and make them aware of. Um,
So,
So,
sir, tell us
sir,
something
tell
about
us something
your
about
journey. How has
the
the
journey,
journey
how
been
it has
until
been
here?
until here.
yeah, so I belong from a place called Chandrapur. This is near Nagpur, and presently I am at Chandrapur only. I'm talking to you, connecting with you from Chandrapur, my city. Um, I was born and brought up here till my third standard. I was in a school. Then I changed the school to another school in at Anandwan here in near Chandrapur only. Um, then after my 12th standard, I shifted to Mumbai. I did my law from Mumbai, Government Law College. I was a gold medalist there. I've done my LLM, and then I've after that I shifted to Delhi. I actually worked for some time in Mumbai for a
Okay.
solicitor's firm. Then I shifted to Delhi. I worked with a taxation for a law firm. It was, but into taxations mostly. After that, I worked for a, a media company for about 3.5 years, and I actually joined there as a compliance guy, and I went on to head the southern and western region for the company. So there were three regions at that time: north, south, and west. So I had headed south and west regions for the
That's really
company.
good, sir.
That's
That's
really good. So,
wonderful.
that's wonderful.
Yeah. And then I shifted to again back to Mumbai. I gave this national level exam for SEBI competitive exams
Okay.
to join SEBI as a legal officer. And I joined here. So basically, I was one of the out of more than 10,000 students who gave this exam. Uh, the the examinees who gave this exam for SEBI appointment. I was one of the five people who got appointed out of
That's
that.
wonderful,
That's
sir.
And
wonderful.
That's
So, that's
absolutely wonderful.
absolutely wonderful.
yeah, and then I shifted. I mean, I joined SEBI in 2011, and I so in about last 7 years, I got two promotions, and now I'm assistant legal advisor. I had worked with the investigation department, the surveillance department, the enforcement department, and now in the legal department in the division of policy. So that has been the broad journey for me overall.
That's wonderful, sir.
That's
That's
wonderful. So, that's
absolutely wonderful.
absolutely
Our
wonderful.
audience would
Our audience
be
would be
really in
really in
awe
an
after
awe
hearing to
after
this
hearing
thing.
to this thing.
So,
So,
the session is
the
all yours,
section is
sir.
all yours, sir.
you can
you
take
can
over
take
from here.
over from here. Sure. So thank you so much. Now, first of all, before I start, let me wish all of you a very, very happy World Investor Week that we have been celebrating from 23rd to till the 28th of this month, rather 29th of this month. And so I wish you all a great um, investment in your life ahead. Um, so let's I see there are many opportunities that you get generally online where you can read a lot and listen to a lot of videos on investments and also strategies and all that stuff. Now today I don't want to get into that fancy stuff here. I want to talk about the basics, because sometimes what happens is that, although we've got so many great things, so many techs, I mean, the advanced things that we learn, but in the process we miss out on certain, easy things like what are the basics of investment, right? So I would definitely want to talk about that. So let's talk about it in a very brief way. See, what normally happens is that, whenever you are getting you want to invest, one really needs to know that why do you want to invest, because many times we don't have um, uh, that clarity in our mind as to why we want to invest, and therefore sometimes we either prematurely withdraw our investments, or we just hold on to the investment for no reason. And keeping in this point in mind, it's important to really talk about the importance of financial planning. I mean, why do you want to why do you want to invest? And that comes the that's where the basics of the investment comes. Uh, Many times we actually miss on on that part.
True,
And
sir.
true, sir. So there, um, I want you, all of you, to really think as to why really you want to invest. And once you have your why, then I think it'll be easy for you to then, make a strategy for your investment, and how much to invest, what is the duration, and accordingly then you can apply the appropriate strategy or strategy for your investment, right? So then you can, and of course you can have more than one strategy, or more than one goals in your mind, or you can put it down on a piece of paper maybe, or on your computer these days, or on mobile. You put that down, and then you realize that the I mean, then you can actually review and see how much is your policy, I mean, the how much your strategy is really working or it's not working. Don't compare yourself with what's there in the market, because a lot of times I hear, oh, the market is high these days, oh, the market is so down these days. Oh, no, 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 no. You got to have your plans, and then you decide as to which policy and how much duration that you want to have. Now your plans could be, your goals could be short term and long term, or both. And you can um, mentally, or maybe on a piece of paper, allocate a specific amount, which would be required at what time. Now supposing if your retirement is 30 years away from now, you can still plan your retirement and actually have some calculation in your mind, and actually see how much money you would require at that time in your life. Once those things are done, I think most of us, we don't spend any time on these, planning your investment. I mean, when and how much and all of that, those questions. And that is where we miss out on a lot of opportunities. I'll give you an example. I remember somebody told me that in very initial days of Infosys, somebody invested just maybe a couple of thousand rupees in the in the in the Infosys shares. and because they had to buy it, maybe they knew somebody who's a founder of Infosys. They just did it out of thinking, okay, we are just helping them kind of. And 30 years later, at that time when I spoke, it was already 30 years then. And that time, the shares, those couple of thousand or 5,000 rupees were worth few crore rupees. And that is, I'm talking about, that's more than 10 years old, what I'm talking about, 10 years back. So, these are, that happened because they just completely forgotten about it. They had just kept that certificate somewhere, the share certificate at that time, of course, somewhere, and then that company grew and they forgot about it. Now, tell me, how many of us would be actually in that position to really earn that much? Because um, when that 2,000 becomes 10,000, we would be tempted to withdraw our money. Or if that 2,000 becomes for some reason maybe 1,500 rupees, 1,500 rupees, then also we would be tempted, oh my God, the money is going down, so I got to withdraw. So I think there is always a case to stay there in the market for a long duration. And then I am again not saying that you also need to apply the same strategy that these people have, but this also could be a strategy. There are some big corporates who the promoters actually, they buy their own company shares and they put it in the dustbin, the share certificates. Now the shares are with them, but then this, of course, they tear it and then put it in the dustbin so that never to come back from it. Just stay invested for a long duration there. And that is where you can actually build your wealth. Now that is about the long term time, I'm saying. And again, there are many ifs, there are many conditions to that. um, it's not an absolute suggestion, and whatever I'm talking about is not at all is a suggestion. It's just a talk that I'm having with you. So that's one thing. There's a possibility that you may want to have a investment for a shorter duration of time, where maybe you want to buy that mobile phone, maybe buy that Apple iPhone, or maybe that car, or maybe you want to go out on a holiday next year Diwali maybe. So for those kind of things also you can plan. And what normally we do is that normally we have this we buy something and then we go on EMI. My point is that why don't you think it this way? Why don't you start a positive EMI, in the sense that why don't you put some money aside, and then whenever you want to do that whenever is that money is required to you, you can withdraw that money. In that case, you don't have to pay any interest or anything on that, and at the same time your work is done, and you've got uh, you're taken care of, and you really get the value what you achieve. Because then when you really realize that how you have gained these profits, or how you've achieved this milestone, and when you actually achieve it, you really get the importance of it. Once your assets show up, they throw you some cash, then you really get the importance. Otherwise, what happens, many times we buy things and we then next day we realize, oh no, I didn't want this. We kind of repent, or we are just careless about it, we just throw it in the wind. So I think these are the basics that one can actually look at while investing, so that this will really help you in the long run or in the short run, in the short term. um, I think it's really important that you um, have your goal in place. Now that's one thing. The other thing that I want to talk about is, a lot of people tell me, oh no, I don't have any money to invest. I whatever I earn, I got to spend it, or it just gets spent. What can I do about it? Now, I have a simple formula for that. normally what happens is that we while we are investing, uh, we think that we have to have this um, money spare at the end of the month, and the next month, this month we didn't have any money, so we say, okay, no, let me do this, let me just then um, put this money aside next month. And the next month happens and nothing happens, and then really, then you all that new year resolution and all that stuff, and nothing really happens. Now my idea is, what normally do we do is, before that, what normally we do is that we actually have the income, then we spend some money, we spend the money, expenditure, expenses, and then whatever is remaining, we go for savings or investment. Now my point is, just do this formula a little upside down. Income equals, first allocate whatever is the amount for your savings and investment, maybe 10%, maybe 5%, maybe 2%, I don't know. But maybe do that. And then whatever is the remaining 80-90% or 95%, as the case may be, you can actually spend that bina kisi, without any guilt or anything. You can just spend that remaining amount, so that your investment is also taken care of, and you can spend your money with you know with um, full freedom. So this could be one idea that you could probably do, right, for investing, and especially for the small investors who think that they don't have money to spare. The third thing that I want to talk about is that a lot of people say, oh, no, no, I want to invest, but I don't have that kind of money. I want to first have some, maybe 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, whatever is that, and then I want to start investing. I think the reality is the other way around. What we can probably do here in these cases is that probably we can uh, start small, no matter how much small it is, but you can start from small. You can even nowadays you can even buy mutual funds, maybe worth rupees 500, or even some mutual funds are giving you 100 rupees a month, you can spare, and if you can invest, I think that would really give the um, give you a start. And then, as the situation is there, you can either invest some money randomly, or you can increase the SIP, or increase the money in your investment, the amount you can increase. So all those things happen, but the important thing is that you got to start somewhere. And I think that's the beginning, that's the point that is there. That is where I think I want to give you a I want to request you to start somewhere. um, then there are a couple of things that I want to bring to your notice, and that is, I would say, one thing is that um, while investing, um, have three things in mind always. One thing is, I would abbreviate it as SLR. As in the bank, we call it statutory liquidity ratio. I would say, this is important, and this is just a abbreviation that I'm giving you. SLR. You should always look for any investment these three aspects called safety, liquidity, and rate of return. So now let's look at what is the safety. Now there's nothing absolute safe in the industry here in the investment. There's something relatively more safe and relatively less safe. Um, if you are looking at something completely safe, then probably you can put all your money under your pillow. Probably that could be the uh, way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but otherwise there's no other really way that you can do it. But it's, and a lot of people tell me, oh, no, no, bank investment FDs are safe. No, 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 even the FDs are not safe. You've seen some examples these days, I don't want to take names, but um, there are enough examples where you've seen what has been happening in the banks. So there's nothing really safe. And then also, there's only a deposit insurance is only given to a certain extent. So that's also there. So there, of course, they are relatively more safe. right? But they're not absolutely safe. So now that's about safety. Then there's liquidity. You got to have the money whenever you need that money. Otherwise, what happens is that when you need your money, you don't get it. You got to either buy it. I mean, put your seek money from outside, or take someone's help, or maybe take a loan where you actually have to spend more, because you of course will have to take a loan where the rate of interest would be more than what generally you would be earning in your from your investments. So you got to have that option of getting your money on time. So that's the liquidity. And plus, if you go for loans, of course you may not get it on time. It may take time. There's a procedure and everything is there. So that was about liquidity. Then the third one is rate of return. Now a lot of people will say, okay, how much is a good rate of return? Now there's no clear and easy answer to that. The easiest answer that I have come to is probably that your rate of return should be at least more than the rate of inflation. Whatever is the rate of inflation, um, at least it should be equal to that, so that you're not losing out on the money. Otherwise, what happens is you actually lose out on money, and once one needs to really get that. So it has to be really more than the rate of the rate of inflation rate. Um, at the same time, don't have any unrealistic expectations from your investments. You got to have the realistic expectation from your investment. A lot of people will tell you, oh, no, no, I am doing this for, you'll get your double the money will be, I mean, in a year the money will be double, and all of that nonsense. That may not happen, and one really needs to be careful about it. And many times I've seen a lot of educated people, a lot of professionals, and a lot of even finance professionals for that matter, have been really losing out on money just due to this kind of a greed that they have, thinking that okay, they will get some great money in short term, and then lose out on the whole amount. um, the lastly, what I want to create with you is the whatever investment you've done, whatever even if it is safe and all of that stuff is there, but you got to remember that you can't put all your baskets in the eggs in the same basket. No matter how good investment it is, and no matter how um, great investment it is, you got to be aware, and that's I'm talking about the principle of diversity, uh, diversification, I'm sorry. So you got to diversify. Now you just imagine, whenever we go out of the house and we just want to, we don't put our money in the same back pocket of your trousers. Or maybe in the case of girls, they don't put all their money in their purse in a um, same compartment.
True.
So that's how, I mean, that's what we do in our life generally. Why do we do it? Because we do it just in case something goes wrong. You got to have the option to really reach your home. You got to, I mean, the whole money doesn't go. Of course, even in that case, there's a possibility that the whole money can go. Maybe your purse can be stolen. uh, but then still you're managing your risk. Again, as I said, we can't totally eliminate the risk, but we can manage the risk. So these are the things that we have. And of course, if you, and in spite of that, whatever you've done, it's possible that you may still go wrong, but that's fine. You got to learn from your mistake, and actually um, start investing again, and have put your basics right and start investing. I think that's the way to go, because a lot of people I've seen, either they're so excited while investing, and if something goes wrong, then suddenly they go completely opposite, and they say, oh, no, 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 this market is so dangerous, we shouldn't invest. But I think if we have these rules set in our mind, those are the basic things, but many times we just forget those things. But if we have those in mind, I think it'll really help us. Now, talking about the different investments, of course, you can then, depending, keeping in mind all these principles, you can either invest in shares, mutual funds, or or bonds, or certain any product that you want to, as long as your mind is clear about it. Now just imagine if even if whatever you've done and still something goes wrong, what do you do then? In that case, the simple way is to, of course, you can, if there's anything that is investment related, and is if the SEBI is the regulator for that investment, then of course you can reach out to SEBI either through letters, emails, all that stuff, or you can actually uh, you know go to a website called www.scores.gov.in. So that is scores.gov.in. You can go on that this website, create your account, ID, password, and you know write your complaint, whatever. If something is something is wrong with you, either there's something wrong in the investment company or any other company, or anything is there, you can always do that. Also, you can upload the supporting documents. You can scan or take a picture of them easily from your phone, and you can then put that attach that document or a picture with your complaint, so that there's a supporting documents if you want to attach anything, and that complaint is taken care of in such a way that you can always track your complaint, and then you'll come to know when your complaint has been resolved and what has happened to your complaint and all of that stuff. Now whatever happens at that time, you can then just in case you are not satisfied with the resolution of that complaint, you have the option to um, escalate that and put it and actually escalate that and kind of file an appeal there, then and there online, and again that issue is taken care of through the appeal mechanism in the SEBI. So that's the overall uh, point of view that I wanted to share with you, uh, that I have, and I wish you all of you great profits ahead.
Thank you
And
so much,
all
sir.
the
Thank
very
you so
best.
much.
Yeah,
Sir, I have some
Sir, I have
queries.
some
Can we go
queries.
ahead with
Can we
this?
go ahead with this?
please go ahead.
I have one
I
query
have one
from
query
Ankit
from
Krishna.
Ankit Krishna.
Yes.
He says,
He says,
I have
I
taken
have
shares
taken
of
shares of
UESL around
UESL around
20,000.
20,000.
Now, as the
Now,
shares are
as the shares are
delisted, what
delisted,
can be the
what
next
can be the
step
next
of
step
the
of the
company?
company?
What will be
What
my
will be
stand
my
going
stand
down the
going
line?
down the line?
Now, I think, I don't want to comment specifically on a particular share here, but in principle, if I have to tell you about what can be done, of course, now if the company is delisted, of course, it's not really easy to sell your shares, or even for the price discovery, it's going to be really, really difficult. I completely get your point. Um,
True.
True.
right, so the liquidity definitely is an issue. If you would have wanted that money quickly, in a short term, you should have maybe surrendered your shares at the time of delisting. That was one option, but since now that option is not there, if you want to sell that, there are enough people in the market who actually trade in the, you can actually go on Google, or maybe connect with Shivam probably, um, and then you will find out there are some people who um, trade in the uh, unlisted shares. um, so you could probably get in touch with them and sell it if you want to. But if you don't want to do that, and if you think that you can maybe go to the MCA website and check if how is the company doing, and depending on that, if you want to stay with those shares, you can stay and maybe sell it at a later date. So if you don't need money, you can stay invested, provided the company is doing good still.
Okay, so
Okay,
the next
so the
question
next
we have
question we have
from Simran
from
Agrawal.
Simran Agrawal.
Yeah.
So she
So
asks
she
us
asks
that
us
what
that
shall be the
what
plan
should
to
be the
enter into
plan
the
to enter
equities
into the
as a beginner?
equities as a beginner.
What should be the
Plan to
Plan to
enter
enter
into the
into the
equities as a
equities
beginner.
as a beginner.
Okay. See, here I have a thing that I want to share with you. As a beginner, if you want to kind of directly get into the share market, the equity markets, I would caution you against that, because unless you really understand how the market works, um, and you don't, unless you have the enough research to understand really how that company is really working, as a beginner, I wouldn't advise you to really directly jump in the market unless you have done your own research. Now, that's one thing. But still, if you want to utilize the equity, take the benefits of equity markets, of course, you can go maybe for a balanced fund, mutual fund, which is a balanced fund, which will have a substantial amount of exposure in the equity side. Um, or you can probably, if your risk appetite is good enough, then probably you could even go for a equity oriented, I mean, the pure equity fund that are there. uh, so that way you can not only diversify your investment, but you will also get some sense of it. But the whole idea is to start small maybe, and then keep growing, keep investing in the market, no matter what is the market position is. And of course, keep reviewing your investment from time to time. Directly going to the equity markets, unless you have um, the basics right, I wouldn't advise you to really jump into it directly.
Okay, sir. Thank you so
Okay,
much
sir.
for
Thank you
that.
so much for that.
So the next
So
query
the
is
next query is
from Janvi
from
Ayya.
Janvi Ayya.
Basically,
So
she is a
basically,
team
she
member
is a
of
team
Being
member
Bullish,
of Being Bullish,
and
and
she has a
she
question
has a
that is
question that
pharma
is
a good
pharma
sector
a
to
good
keep
sector to
your
keep
shares
your
invested
shares
in,
invested in,
or must sell
or
and
must
come
sell
out of
and come
them?
out of them?
Now, here I wouldn't want to specifically comment on a particular sector or a particular company again, but of course, this could be a good sector, I would say, as a sector, considering a lot of people, a lot of us are now getting um, kind of sensitive towards, or the aware towards the health side of us, and there's enough opportunities in the health side, health sector. um, but it really depends on which company you are invested in and how's that company doing really. It all depends on that. So as a sector, I would have a bullish view about it. You can probably stay invested.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So,
Sir, yeah,
sir, yeah,
we have a last
we have a
question
last
from
question
Simran
from
Agrawal
Simran Agrawal
Yes.
again. So
again.
she
So
asks
she
that what
asks
is the
that what is the
taxation provision
taxation
related to
provision
the
related to
dividend
the dividend
that we should
that
receive
we
from
should
the
receive
companies
from the
in
companies
future?
in future?
Yeah. So now, generally, the dividends are not taxed at the hands of the investor. That has been the position earlier. But now, recently, the government has actually made it taxable in the hands of investor also, provided you have more than 1 lakh rupees ka dividend with you. Um, so that being the case, I mean, that's the taxation part of it. But earlier, as a rule, that the dividend would be not taxable earlier, because it was the principle was it is already taxed at the level of company. um, so company would pay the dividend distribution tax and all of that stuff, so that is still there. And now even the dividends are taxed in the hands of the investor. So now that's the position right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So with
So
this, I guess
with
we
this,
have
I guess we
completed
have
all our
completed all
queries,
our queries,
and we come to
and
an
Great.
we
end of
come
this
to an end of
session.
this session.
So Rahul
So
sir,
Rahul sir,
I would like
I would
to
like to
thank you from the
thank you from
entire
the
team of
entire
Being
team of
Bullish.
Being
Thank you
Bullish.
for giving
Thank
us
you
your
for giving
time,
us your
precious
time,
time. I know
precious
where
time.
you're
I know
quite
where you're
busy.
quite
You've
busy.
been quite
You've
busy
been
since
quite busy
past a
since
lot of
past a
days.
lot of days.
So thank you so
So
much
thank
for
you so
giving
much
us
for
your
giving
time
us
and
your
coming
time
on
and
Being
coming
Bullish.
on
So it
Being
was a
Bullish. So
pleasure
it was a
having you.
pleasure having you.
Thank you so much, and thanks so much for inviting me. And again, I wish all of you the happy World Investor Week, and I wish all of you great profits.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much, sir.
much for
Thank you so
listening
much
our
for listening
audience.
our audience.
And
And
yeah, thank you so much
thank you
everyone
so
for
much
being a
everyone for being
wonderful
a
audience.
wonderful audience.
Next,
Next,
we'll
we'll
probably be seeing
probably be
next
next
session of the
session
Bullish
of the
Talks.
Bullish Talks.
Till then,
Till
have a
then,
good
have a
time
good time
and see you
and
soon.
see you soon.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.